As part of the Un-Infecting the City Public Arts Festival, multidisciplinary artist Thania Petersen has collaborated with taxi owners Ziyaad and Fatima Dyason to turn a public transport vehicle into a moving masterpiece that passengers can actually appreciate en route. The taxi project is a public arts initiative to make art accessible to people who do not have the privilege to experience much, if any, much art in their lives. Now, Petersen joins us now on Zoom to tell us more about the project. Thania, a very good morning to you. Thanks for joining us. Welcome to Morning Live.
Morning. Thank you for getting me out of bed so early.
I know, right? We're just glad that you did wake up and don't want to share with us, more details about the taxi project. Please do share in greater detail what is it about.
So the idea behind the taxi project is to make art available to everyone. Often, we make work as artists and our work goes into these collections, private collections, and goes into these museums. And to get into these museums, people have to pay, often up to 200 Rand per person or 150 Rand per person. And for a family of 5 or 4, for a lot of people, that is almost impossible. And even if you have the money, a lot of people have to work and don't have the time to get to these places where you can see the work. And I was thinking of a way to share the work. So how do we share the work so that everyone can enjoy it and everyone can access the information and just enrich lives? And I thought, the one place where people spend a lot of time and people from townships is in the taxis. And the last work which I did was actually inspired by, the sort of sound and experience of traveling in a taxi. And the film has gone into really amazing collections. And I thought, but what is the point of making this work if the people that I love and care about can't actually watch this film? And the people who experience what I'm talking about can't experience the work, then what is the point? And then I decided, well, the only thing that makes sense to me is to actually put it in the taxi, because that is what the work speaks to. Okay. It makes sense.
Yeah. Let's discuss the process of approaching the taxi drivers about this project and what that entailed. Were there any challenges that came with it?
No, it was the easiest thing I've ever done.
Really?
It just happened naturally. I was really lucky. I spoke to Jay Pather, the professor at UCT, and it was I was literally sitting at the skate park with my kids on a Saturday afternoon, and I phoned him and I said, Jay, what do you think of this idea? And he said to me, oh God, just email me immediately and let's make this happen. And then my mom said, don't worry, I'll find you taxi owners. And the next day she sent me a phone number of Ziyaad. And when I phoned him, at first I thought, oh God, this man is going to think I'm mad because I'm saying, oh, can I decorate your taxi and do this and do that? And he said, and his wife phoned me and said, we would love to. We would absolutely love to do this. And I said, wow, that's amazing. That was so easy. And in 2 weeks, the taxi was on the road. Wow. And I love the way the whole hierarchy of the project is completely people-led. It's like it's sort of by the people for the people, and everyone that enabled it is from the spaces that I am trying to access. Yeah. And for me, that in itself is a very powerful gesture.
And speaking of the hierarchy of the project, take us through the process of selecting or deciding which of your works will be used on the taxi.
Well, it's the work which was inspired by the experience of driving in a taxi. The work about the taxi also highlights the inequalities of our lives in South Africa and how our social systems fail us. So we can never take a train when we need to. The hospital's always full when we need it. And there is one half of our society, well, more, that have to experience a different existence to others. And so the work was very much, to do with our social structure. And therefore that work seemed relevant to taxis.
Now, Thania, why was it important for you as a multidisciplinary artist to sort of make art accessible to people who do not have the privilege to experience art in their lives?
Because I think art belongs to everyone.
Sure.
I don't think that, I think it only makes sense that it's important, art has a role to play in society. And if it's not accessing everybody in society, then the work is pointless.
Yeah. And speak to us about, turning a taxi into an immersive art experience. What did that entail?
Well, I had to think very fast because I had very little time and I was very excited.
Okay.
So we put a 22-inch screen in the taxi, and where my film is being played. And what we're doing is we're going to be running a small film festival, which also deals with the kind of conversations that my film is having. And then the imagery around the taxi is sort of pulled from the film. So the film kind of sets the basis of the type of art or visual language that I was using. And then I covered the entire taxi in the same sort of visual language which is within the film. So it becomes like an immersive experience for the commuter. And then Kurt Alderson, who is an incredible filmmaker. He's originally from Mitchell's Plain, but now lives in Los Angeles. He has very generously given me access to a whole load of his films. And Khalid Shamis, who's another amazing filmmaker, he as well has given me films. And so what we're doing is we're curating and compiling a little film festival in which we will play in the taxi for the commuters.
And your work deals with issues of identity in contemporary South Africa, isn't it? Particularly focusing on your Cape Malay heritage. Why are these issues or these themes so close to your heart?
Because these are all things that was imposed on us as people. There is these cultural identities that were created and imposed onto us, and we were always told who we are in this space and on this land. And I think right now in South Africa, everybody is trying to unpack and figure out who they are and who we are in this landscape. Because, up until now, everything that we were told has been told with a different agenda that doesn't suit us or isn't there to make us thrive or grow. And I think what my work is trying to do is trying to figure out, for me, who I really am, or more importantly, who I would like to be. And the reason why I do this is because I have very young kids, and I don't want the same generation to have no sense of belonging or sense of who they are in this landscape. And Cape Town being particularly problematic for me, I think it's important that we try and find out and try and represent ourselves and not have other people do it for us.
Okay, Thania, great chatting to you. Thank you so much. This is such a brilliant initiative, hey?
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Well, multidisciplinary artist Thania Petersen there, speaking to us about her collaboration with taxi owners Ziyaad and Fatima Dyason to turn a public transport vehicle into a moving masterpiece that passengers can actually appreciate en route. Well, the sort of pimped up ride forms part of the Un-Infecting the City Public Arts Festival currently underway in Cape Town.